is CRE 2024 from Milton Keynes. I'm Chris from Monkey Nuts, and I am joined by, well, not just one person on this podcast, but, well, it's Ian from One Way UK. I've got Jackson, and we're going to meet somebody else a little bit later as well. But welcome to you, Ian, and welcome to Jackson, too.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Jackson here, and I'm Ian's carer. Thank you very much, eh? I don't know.
Well, Ian, it's lovely to have you here along with Jackson. Tell us a little bit about One Way UK and what it is you specialise in. I think it's quite obvious, but just go for it.
It's a puppet. So we've been going about 30 years, and as a creative ministry, primarily being puppets, and how to use puppets in a creative way to share the good news of Jesus. And puppets are popular for Muppets. They're still used on TV and adverts and things. And puppets seem to be as popular today as ever. So we find using puppets a great way to capture people's attention and share the gospel in a fun and engaging way.
I was going to say, they're definitely engaging because my church actually uses puppets. In fact, they've got, just thinking about it now, I'm just trying to visualize it. I think they've got about 10 of them, and they all sing and they all dance, and they take them obviously into church and they do something for the children there, which is wonderful. But they also go out into public events and they attract such a crowd, and they're singing popular songs with some Christian lyrics to them.
Yeah, we produce them.
Oh, well, it's probably those that we're singing along to. But it's not just the children that you're getting the attention of, it's the adults as well.
People often say they're great for the children, but then you can see the cogs turning, and it's great for us as well.
Yeah.
And when we started our own church team using the puppets 26 years ago, and we used to do school assemblies, and we still do, and we started going into care homes, and we thought, really? And the people in the care homes love the puppets. Oh. And particularly at Christmas, we will go in and we will sing the popular carols and share the Christmas story. But people who are in the care homes, particularly nowadays, are much more often have dementia. And they may not know what day it is, but they can tell you the whole Christmas story. And with the puppets animating the songs and the carols, they will join in singing all the words. And we have a great time as a sing-along, but sharing what the true meaning of Christmas is, what the true message is. And you know they're engaging with you because they're nodding and agreeing with you. And you know that the birth of the baby Jesus brings hope and peace. And they're all saying, yes, that does. And puppets do really engage with all ages.
Yeah, they do. And I think the wonderful thing that I always remember my vicar, he's sadly gone on to a different church, but he always used to say to me, you can kind of get away with saying whatever you want with a puppet. Isn't that right?
It really is, because it's not me saying it, it's Jackson here, isn't it? And, whether we're having a go at the vicar for what he's wearing or the puppets, we use them in a number of different ways, as you said, about like singing the parody songs. So people recognise the music, particularly when you're out in the community. People think they're playing ABBA or Status Quo, and then when they get nearer, they realise they've changed the words on those. So you can capture their attention. But I forgot what I was going to say there, Jackson. I've got no idea where we were going with that. But yeah, we use puppets in different ways. So we might have a puppet behind the stage, and I might be in front asking the questions. Or often it's a puppet asking you the basic questions, which then provides me with the basis of answering the questions. A lot of them would have been the ones that the children are asking, or the visitors to church are asking themselves. Why did Jesus die on the cross? What was the meaning of this? And the puppets asking the question provides that opportunity to explain, but also the it's engaging, and it's also quite fun when the puppet's making fun because I'm a bit bald. Follically challenged, yes, absolutely. Bald, absolutely bald, anyway. So they can make fun at you, but it's engaging and it's done in a fun way. But because it's fun and engaging, the message is more memorable for that.
It's a wonderful evangelistic tool, that's for sure. Jackson, how do you feel about going into churches and touring and meeting lots of children?
I love it. I love it because not only do we have children watching us, but sometimes, a lot of time, with children using us.
Oh,
That's right, Jackson, because in our own team and in many teams, and yours as well probably, that children start using the puppets themselves from about the age of 9 upwards. Puppets like Jackson, about his size, which we hand build in our workshop in Grimsby. They're big enough and not too big to be used by children. And children love using the puppets because if you ask them to do a drama in church, then, oh, no, I couldn't do that. Ask them to use a puppet behind a screen where they're not seen, then it's a whole different ball game.
yeah.
So we'll have our children involved in the puppet ministry, performing with the puppets out of sight, and it's anonymous. And whether they've got additional needs or anything else, the puppet singing, not them, so they don't have to sing, so they can be shy. We've found that the children who are involved in the puppet ministry, one, it gives them a really good reason to keep coming to church. It gives them a fellowship with children who are of different ages. It doesn't matter whether you're 12 or 16 or 18. When you're working behind a puppet stage, you are all equals. So there's a friendship group, a fellowship group, and because we're doing ministry and we're doing ministry together, we've found that our children come to have their own faith through working and being part of a puppet ministry team.
I was going to ask you that because while using a puppet, like Jackson, hi Jackson, I guess there's lines to learn for the children and they're engaging with scripture or Bible stories or narrative in some way, which kind of helps them to learn a bit more than the traditional Sunday sermon or perhaps a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning Bible school. So it's a really nice way of engaging, isn't it?
It is, because our heart is evangelism, and we want to share the gospel to people. But by doing puppets, it's hard work. But we want to teach and being with the children the reality of what knowing Jesus means to you. And it's the reality of that transforming love of Jesus that he gave us when he died on the cross, the forgiveness of our sins. It's that reality of our faith which transforms and changes everything that we do. And it's that sort of missional aspect of what our faith is worked through that you're conveying with the children and that they're taking on board. It's not just a knowledge faith, it's a heart faith. And that means it's not what we do on a Sunday, it's what we do every day of the week. And it changes what we do, how we think, and how we act. And that's the reality, which is really important for us.
Now, before we meet your next guest, how is CRE and One Way UK? I guess you're getting a lot of attention.
So we must. I think we go back for years with CRE. I joined full time with One Way UK when we kind of bought it and took over from 2006, and we were at CRE before that. But the puppets here epitomizes what CRE is about and what it is. And you've got the slogans here: nothing beats hearing it or touching it. Yes, you can see Jackson on the website, but you can't touch him, feel the weight of him, animate him. So being here at CRE is really important because it's not only about showing people, it's about sharing people, engaging with people, showing people, and explaining. If people come up and say, "Well, how do they work?" My first thing I do is to put one on their hand, because I know how they work. But they need to feel them for themselves, because in the mouth there's elastic which helps hold my fingers in place so he can talk and be animated in a really good way. So being part of CRE is really fundamental to us, and we support CRE and all that they do to engage with people, because yes, you can go on the internet, but you can't touch and feel and hear the same way.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's what's important. You get to come up close and see Jackson and all the puppets. Now, you have brought along somebody else. Before we say goodbye, would you like to introduce us to your other guests? Let's say goodbye to Jackson, firstly.
Well, thank you very much. You've enjoyed it, haven't you? He loves sharing about what him and his friends do with the puppets. But you've got another friend, haven't you, with you? Yeah. And it's called Rover.
Oh, well, introduce us to Rover.
Okay, then. Here's Rover! Right, you go then and look after yourself. You go down there. Okay, then. So, now, do you want to see him?
I would love
Are you
to see
brave? Because sometimes he can be a bit scary.
I'm brave enough.
You're brave enough. Okay, so let's see.
Oh.
No, he's not fearsome, is he?
No.
No, you haven't got any teeth, have you? But you've got more hair than me. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's got more hair than me. Well, that's not quite true, but anyway, this is Rover, and he's a dog in a bag.
Love it. I absolutely love it. And it's a new way of engaging. It's not just a puppet, it's an animal too. And I bet they're great at Christmas time too.
They're great at, yeah, a dog's not just for Christmas.
It's for life.
For life. And all the year, because people, particularly coming to CRA, they want something they can pick up, they want something they can use. If you're a busy vicar or minister, you haven't got loads and loads of time, and you might want something for Sunday or an assembly that you can pick up and use that helps you connect with the children or the church. And that's the great thing about Rover, and he's got his friend called Scruff. It's not as nice as you. I know, that's a bit biased, aren't you? Yes. And the idea with the dog in the bag is that with the whispering technique, you don't need to learn ventriloquism. And we've got books of scripts that they can use, which tell you a story that links in with a message. And you've got something to share, have you? Go on then, very quickly. You're coming up to Halloween, and you're a bit scared of the dark, aren't you? So he's going to have a candle in his bag, but a real candle. You tried it last year, yeah? You lost some of your fare. Well, I bet you did nearly set fire to yourself, didn't you? So you've got another candle, so you've gone for a tea light now. Well, that's very good, isn't it? It's risk-free, and it stops being dark in your bag, so you're not as afraid. And it reminds you that Jesus said he is the light of the world. Isn't that good?
It's wonderful. It's
You're going to put that in there
wonderful.
for later. Yeah, there we go. So it's an easy prop to pick up, to use.
I can see.
I use it in toddler groups because it's very tactile. And then when we go into care homes, we can use him, because sometimes when we do puppets in a care home, it's from a stage, so it's further away. And if people can't see or hear very well, then they're going to struggle. But with Rover here, I can take him out, and the people can actually stroke him and interact with him.
Touch, feel, and get involved with exactly what's happening in front of them to engage with the gospel and what's happening.
That's right, and they'll share what they used to have a dog at when they were growing up, and they're just kind of intimate relation. You can share the gospel message whilst you're doing that.
Absolutely. Well, Ian, it's been lovely meeting you. It's been lovely meeting Jackson and Rover. If anybody wants to find out more about One Way UK, is there a website we can go on to?
They can go on our website, which is onewayuk.com, and all our puppets and resources and tools that we can use to share the gospel using puppets, gospel magic tricks, resources for toddler groups. We've got them all there with you and your friends. Yes, really exciting.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming to see us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And if you would like to find out more about CRE and its exhibitors this year, or perhaps want to exhibit yourself next year, why don't you go to the website? It's creonline.co.uk.